So I'm going to be replacing the M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD on this Dell Latitude 7480. So first thing we're going to do is use a PH1 or JS1 screwdriver and remove all the screws from the bottom. Alright, so just undo these screws. Most of these screws actually stay in place, so keep that in mind. You don't actually have to pop them out. I think they're all going to stay in place. But if they come out, make sure to keep them in order so that you can put them back where you got them from, because if you mix them up, it can cause damage to the computer. Alright, if this video helps you, make sure to like, subscribe, and share my channel with others so that they can also learn how to fix and upgrade their computers. And if it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. I actually do these computer repairs for a living. I run my business 24/7. So, yeah, by the time you see this video, I probably won't have this computer anymore. So hopefully what you see here will be good enough. Alright, so first thing we're going to have to do is pop the cover off. So once we get all the screws loosened, we're going to try and pull this up. Oh, it came out pretty easily. So I use a suction cup. You can also use two pieces of tape that meet like this up towards the middle, and then you can use that as a pull tab and pull it out. So there we go. The cover comes off at an angle like this, and then you can pull it out, and there's the bottom piece. Alright, so next we're going to do is get to the SSD. So the SSD is down here. There's also the RAM. I'm going to go over a little bit what's inside this computer, but I'm not going to completely take everything out. Most of them are pretty straightforward and standard. So if you want to learn how to remove other components and you can't figure it out, make sure to watch some of my other videos. I show it how to remove a lot of the components in most of my other videos. Alright, so let's go ahead and zoom in here. The M.2 SSD is right here. Okay, so we're going to remove the two screws. So there's one screw here, and then there's another screw here. Alright, once you remove both of those screws, you can see this bracket just comes out just like that. There's a thermal pad on the other side, so you don't want to get that too dirty or anything. Alright, once you get all those screws out, you can see the chip comes out like this. It comes up slightly at an angle, and then you can wiggle and pull it back. And that's how you remove the SSD. So I just did another one of these a few days ago, and it used the M.2 SATA SSD. So I'm assuming this supports both, but PCIe NVMe SSDs are much faster. So if you can get them, get them. Sometimes it's cheaper to get SATA ones, but they're not much cheaper, so might as well get the PCIe NVMe. Alright, so we're going to put it in at an angle like this. Okay, just like that. Push it in. Alright, once it's slotted in, make sure it's lined up evenly with the screw mount. And then what we're going to do, we're going to take this piece, alright, put it at an angle to get that hooked underneath this piece here. Oops, I accidentally moved it. There we go. Alright, and then just drop that back into place to line up with the screw mount. Do it backwards a little bit just to make sure it lines up. Okay, and then when you hear the click, you can go ahead and tighten it down. Just like that, very easy. Alright, other one as well. Alright, so now we got the bracket holding it down. That's pretty much it. I'm going to have to reinstall Windows. If you wanted to upgrade your SSD, I actually have a video on how to clone it. So if you need that, I have that as well. But anyways, now I'll show other components here. So you got the RAM. So to get out the RAM, you just pull these two tabs to the side. It pops up like this. Then you can go ahead and pull this back, and here you see the RAM is PC4 2400T. You can use any PC4 2400T RAM that's this form factor. So if you want, you can get two 8 gig sticks, two 16 gig sticks. Just make sure it's PC4 2400T. Alright, so there we go. And yeah, some RAM they label, instead of writing that 2400T, they label it by the speed of the RAM. So you can also go by that. So I did another video where I replaced the DC jack or the charge port. So if you want to see how to do that, watch my other video. I did it about 4 or 5 days ago. So 4 or 5 days earlier than this video. Alright, you got the LCD LVDS connector here, which is also connected. I believe this is for the camera. If you mess with this connector, make sure that you disconnect the battery and press and hold the power button for 10 to 15 seconds before doing that. So it looks like they replaced the battery on their own. Battery model number F3YGT. Alright, so here you can see ZTHY instead of DELL. But this battery is pretty easy to remove. You just grab this connector and you just pull it straight up. Alright, then you got some connectors under here. This is most likely for the trackpad, but I don't see a label, so I'm not sure. Alright, you got both speakers here. The wire runs along to the other speaker down here, sorry. Then that wire connects up here, and both connectors are plugged into that spot. So both speakers. Alright, these kinds of connectors, you just grab the wings like this and you kind of just wiggle it to pull it out, but I'm going to leave it. You got the BIOS or CMOS RTC battery connector here. The battery's right there. And then you got this mini connector here. It says for an LED, so, that's for the battery LED board down here. Sorry, I don't have good zooming in, zooming out right now. Then you got the wireless card here. One screw, it pulls off this metal plate, and then you can pop the antennas out by the tail. Again, I have videos showing that, so if you're not sure, please watch those videos. And yep, looks like that's pretty much all there is to work on in here. So I'm going to put the cover back on, and then I'm just gonna redo the Windows install. So again, hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others. Alright, let's go ahead and put this cover on. Again, if it helped you save some money, please consider contributing a little bit to my channel so that I can continue making these videos for a living and helping others. Alright, let's go ahead and get these down. So again, I actually do this as a full-time job. So YouTube is kind of just like additional work on top of my full-time job, so keep that in mind. It's not something I'm just doing with all my free time. I actually work quite a bit. I'm pretty sure I work more than 60 hours a week, if not even close to like 80 or so. But anyways, let's go ahead and get all of these in. Okay, and then we'll get these last few screws in. And other than that, we're pretty much good to go. If you want, you can watch as I do the partial Windows install. So I actually have a video showing how to create the Windows install media. Alright, but in this one I'm just going to use the USB and install Windows on it. So here we go, get the last screw in. Make sure everything is lined up and clicked into place. There we go. Alright, and now let's go ahead and get the Windows USB installer. You can install it on any little flash drive that you want. Alright, doesn't have to be a specific one. Alright, so there we go. Now we're just going to power this thing up. And then to boot from the USB device, you want to press F12. Alright, so I'm pressing F12. You'll see soon. Okay, pressing F12. And it goes to the list of bootable devices. Okay. Oh, I forgot to mute my notifications. I might have to turn that off. Alright, so here you can see you want to boot the UEFI boot. So we're going to do SanDisk Cruiser Fit because that's my USB. Hold on, let me turn off my notifications real quick. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. One other thing I'm going to do, because I don't want to have all these extra options, I'm going to go to the BIOS setup first. Okay, and I'm actually going to go to the boot thing and I'm going to switch it to UEFI only. Alright, and then after changing it to UEFI, I guess you can leave legacy options, I don't know. But I'm going to go to Secure Boot here, and then Secure Boot Enable, and I'm going to enable Secure Boot. Oh, okay, we do have to turn off the legacy options. So Advanced Boot Options, I'm going to disable the legacy boot options here, and then we're going to go to Secure Boot and enable that. Alright, so we're going to apply that. Okay. And then we're going to exit, and then now we're going to go F12 again. Okay, come on. If you want, you can wait till it shows the boot screen, but sometimes I'm like slow to press it, so I like to just keep pressing it until it comes up. But yeah, you can wait till you see the Dell logo show up on the screen. Alright, and then you can just press it and you'll see a yellow thing up there saying it's preparing the boot menu. Okay, so there we go. Wait for the boot menu to come up. This thing's kind of slow going to the boot menu. I wonder if there's something else wrong with this computer, but hopefully the only issue is the SSD. When I tested it with the diagnostics, so there's a diagnostics option here, it was complaining about the SSD. So we're going to go to the UEFI SanDisk Cruiser Fit partition, boot it, and it should boot my Windows 10 installer. Here we go, 64-bit option. Normally when people create this, they just create it with the 64-bit, but I added 64 and 32-bit just in case. I pretty much never use the 32-bit option, so yeah, but it's nice for me to have since I do this all the time. Alright, so there we go, and then it's going to run you through the installation options. I guess I'll show up until the point where it shows how to do the hard drive. So usually I'll go to next. I just use the tab key and then enter key. Alright, to install. It'll ask you what version of Windows 10 was on here. I think it's usually Windows 10 Home. Sometimes it'll detect okay, so I push space to accept the terms and then press enter, and then I go to custom install Windows only and then unallocated. So usually I'll just click next and let it create the partitions on its own, and there we go. So it actually detected the Windows key and it didn't ask for a key. So sometimes it won't detect the key and then you'd have to know which version of Windows 10 you had. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just go let the installation run through. When I first set it up, I don't like to connect it to the internet, so I can create a local account, and then I just go through all the other settings. But that's pretty much all there is to it. Hopefully this video helped you guys. Again, like, subscribe, share my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. All right, let's drop this. Bye.